Diamonds, and we are on time. Ooh, ooh. We can meet a couple of times. Okay. So the podcast, The Millionaire of the Diamonds, is not just a podcast about chasing money. This is so important to understand. It's a podcast about becoming the person who can create the kind of money that you want. But there's no way I'm going to create more money without working on the inside of myself. And I love that we covered yesterday. We talked about purpose, and we know that the truth is at the end of the day, no matter how hard I work, if I'm doing it without purpose, without clarity, never, never, never will I achieve the riches that I could really have. So we need to find our purpose or hop on somebody that I look at and I say, I want what he or she has. I really love who they are. Let me hop on their bandwagon and adapt their purpose to myself. And that's exactly what Melanie Miller did. And it's, she got exactly the results that she was looking for. And again, I did a reel yesterday, Marie-Pierre, that I said, some people are just looking for attention. Some people are just ego, like it's all about look at me, look at me, look at me, look at me, look at me. Be careful of who you are hopping. Be careful of whose wagon you're hopping on. That's how I want to put it. So in my segment today, what you can expect to hear is I'm going to show you why success is not about knowing everything. It's about organizing specialized knowledge around so that our vision becomes more and more clear. Okay. And then my Dr. Melanie Miller from Australia is going to take us into what it truly means to purchase knowledge. Now, don't forget, she has the doctorate's degree, and she's going to give you a few elements that are very important. The first one is for me, Marie-Pierre, is what have you done just to do it? Like, I remember when my children were in school, it was so important. They did volunteer and they didn't get paid for it, right? Volunteer, well, the word says it itself. It was so important. They were in sports, they were in community activities, so they became a whole person, not just with a degree, right? And finally, Marie-Pierre, I always love Marie-Pierre. She brings us to what I call the social mirror. She's going to go like this, really? And I think that's important because too many people are in la la land. I'm not going to sugarcoat it. They're delusional. They just don't get it that the answer is 6 inches in front of the mirror. But before we dive in, we're going to go over to you, Marie-Pierre, because I got a feeling that this podcast needs to be actually directed to very specific people in your life. Just remember, you cannot tell people what to do. You can just be the example. And if they want to follow you, including your husband or your wife, they are welcome too. But don't you dare try to fix the outside before you start fixing yourself. So Marie-Pierre, over to you.
Yes. Okay. So first thing to share, you will see the arrow just beside where you write your comment, so you can share on every social media platform. And in the chat, in the chat, you can copy paste the text that I gave you, that you can copy paste it to make sure that people understand why they should listen to the podcast this morning. But you will see that when you click on the arrow, you can share on all social media platforms, but you can also share by messenger, by text message. So if you got a feeling, I love this song. Got a feeling. Okay, so you want to share it by messenger or text message when you have someone in mind that really needs to hear that. That's the best way to make sure that they will click on the link and listen to the podcast. Then we have our contest, Les Millionnaires des Diamants. So first, when you go on our Facebook group called Les Millionnaires des Diamants Inspirational Group, every time that you post, every time that you comment, every time that you react to one of the posts, you gain point during the month to be in the top 10 contributor of the group. And at the end of the month, so we are close to the end of the month, the official top 10 will get a voucher to go shop on the boutique Les Millionnaires des Diamants. And then we have a draw at the end of each month too. So first to be in the draw, there's with the boutique. So when you place your order, when you receive your order, make sure that you always take a picture and you post on social media and you tag Maria Moreno and the Millionnaires des Diamants to be in the draw. And the second way to be in the draw is with the books Les Millionnaires des Diamants. So you receive just one of the book, you take a picture. You're reading one of the book, you take a picture. You're doing one of the quiz book, you take a picture. You're doing one of the workbook, again, again can take a picture. You're using your agenda, les millionnaires des diamants, again can take a picture. Your journal, les millionnaires des diamants, again can take a picture. That means that you can have a new picture every day that you can post on social media, and you can always tag Marie Mehano and les millionnaires des diamants to have the most chance in the draw. And last thing, if you don't already have your ticket for the next conference, click on the link and get your ticket. We have 3 new conferences coming up, one in April, one in July, and one in November. And it's not to help you choose the best date. No, no, no. It's to help you grow all year long on different subjects. So you want to be there for the 3 conference. And if you want to be with us on site in the studio when we are doing it, we still have a few places. So if I'm not mistaken, I think we have like 10 places left in French
Ah,
for the in April. So send me a message when you get your ticket if you want to be with us. But it starts with the virtual conference, so it's for everyone anywhere in the world. And even if you cannot be with us during the Zoom, the conference, you can watch it in replay after. So you can also register and you will receive the link to watch it after if you cannot be with us. So it's really for everyone to make sure that you grow personally this year.
thank you so much. The crew is there, okay? Monique is there. Martin is there. I didn't see Matthew. I saw Lise. I saw Louise. I didn't see Jacqueline either, okay? So, Martin, I'm counting on you to tag them and ask them, Marie-Pierre, t'es où? Where are you? The podcast started. I pulled a Marie-Pierre on you. Okay, so let's dive in right away. Once again, good morning, everyone. And today we're going to remove one of the biggest invisible fears that quietly stops people from ever beginning. And the fear is this. Anybody would know? That's right. Okay, I am not educated enough to succeed. Oh my gosh. How many people in my life, one more accounting class, one more psychology class, one more perfectionist class. You know, there's a French comedian who's passed away in Quebec. Jean-Marc Chaput, he would say people, unfortunately, will graduate from the school, what is it called? Bourse d'études. From, oh, Marie-Pierre, Bourse d'études. From, what's that English name? Okay, somebody, Bourse d'études. Bourse d'études. You got to find me the words. Okay, somebody Google it, YouTube it. I don't know what you guys use. Bourse d'études au fonds de pension. So people will go from scholarship.
Ah, yeah, that's it.
Uh,
Yeah.
yeah, school scholarship to retirement money. And I really loved every time he says that, right? Because he was so spot on. Many people believe success belongs to people with the diplomas, the degrees, the certificates, the people who seem smarter. And I'm so happy Melanie Miller is going to share with you. It's even if her and her husband had a doctorate's degree, their financial freedom and their livelihood they're living today was thanks to what she did in Tupperware. And you'll understand why in a few moments. Okay. So Napoleon Hill makes a very um, comforting. Yeah, comforting is more the word. Comforting and also very confronting statement. Yeah, comforting and confronting. He says, knowledge alone does not attract money. So if you're going to take down notes and you're leaning in and you're saying, oh, what's that one key sentence I'm going to write down? This would be one of them. Knowledge alone does not attract money. Not intelligence, not memory, not how many books you have read. Because knowledge is only potential power. There you go. That would be another sentence I would write down. Knowledge is only potential power. Now, I want to share with you again, for those joining us for the very first time, don't forget, my parents immigrated from Italy. My mother didn't even know her alphabets. And my dad had maximum, maybe, I don't even remember if he had a 6th grade back in Italy. I mean, was it really 6th grade or was it the equivalent of 1st grade? Like, I don't know how to explain it to you guys. It's not the diplomas. It's not the diplomas. It's purpose. And when the purpose is there, you will always jump out of bed. You will never rely on discipline. You will never rely on inspiration because your purpose is bigger than you and you will do it regardless, even if you don't feel like it. So one of the examples I want to give is very simple. If knowledge alone created success, then why aren't the university professors the richest people on the planet? Huh? Marie-Pierre. Okay, that is the question. But we all know that these professors are very good at teaching, but a lot of them go from paycheck to paycheck. We have recruited a lot of teachers, even in the university world, because they go from paycheck to paycheck. Organization of knowledge. There goes another word maybe you'd want to write down. Organization of knowledge. I want to use my own life so you understand this very, very, very clearly. I do not have a university degree. Let me repeat it to you guys. I do not have a university degree. I do not know how to build buildings. And yet we are real estate tycoons in Montreal. Why? Because I didn't try to become an engineer. My husband had the engineering mind, the structural vision, the understanding of construction. Then we surrounded ourselves with the right electrician, the right contractor, the right notary, the right accountant. And by the way, all these people are still with us, just by the way, 40 years later. Okay. Because you need a team around you. You got to have the right team. I personally could not even build a wall. If you come to the office, I put one thing on the wall, the poop bag for my dogs, and you have to see how I put it in the wall. It's going to tell you a lot about me and the hammer, right? But this is what's very important for you to walk away today. Is I had a vision and a mission, and I learned how to assemble the people who could make things happen. I didn't know how a corporation worked. I didn't know how import export worked. I didn't know how houses were built. I didn't know any of that, but I knew how to find the people who understood this, right? The same thing with the podcast. This lived in my mind for years and years and years. I had the vision, but I could not record it, structure it, edit it, distribute it, or academically ground it alone. This is what everybody needs to understand. So what did I do? Slowly but surely, I gathered the right people. Don't forget, I have purpose, a vision, and a mission. I gathered the people. Each person brought a piece that I did not possess, that I did not have. And when Dr. Melanie Miller, she was the last to join us, it was the, en français, on dit la pierre angulaire. She was the tipping point of being absolutely credible, having all the credentials, having everything we needed academically to give our entire podcast validation. So for me to have a book that says Dr. Melanie Miller, and that people can see that she is in pharmaceutical products, whatever, this is so important. This is what Hill calls specialized knowledge. And now I want to show you why this is important. Henry Ford is the greatest example of all. Ford did not have advanced schooling. In fact, in court, he was publicly questioned to prove that he was uneducated and not fit to be to have such a great company in his hands. They asked him historical questions and academic questions. He could not answer them at all. So they attempted to show how ignorant he was, Ford. Ford calmly replied, "You stupid idiots." No, he didn't say that. I said that. He calmly replied, let me stick to the notes. Okay. If I need to answer those questions, I have a row. If I needed to answer those questions, I have a row of electric buttons on my desk. And by me pressing the right one, I can summon the men who can supply any knowledge I require. This is the moment most people misunderstood. Ford did not lack intelligence. He refused to clutter his mind with knowledge he did not need to personally know. I'm truly the Ford of the 21st century. Every time my husband wants to explain me something, I say, that is information not necessary for my brain. Do you understand it? Good. That's your job. Okay. So he refused to clutter his mind. So you have to refuse to clutter your mind. And a lot of people are in the scarcity mentality. So I'm not going to hire a cleaning lady, cost money. That's scarcity mentality. So you're cluttering your mind with, I got to clean the house. I got to clean the house. I got to do groceries. And I know you're all saying, I know, we got to do it. I know, but there's another way. There's another way. But only with purpose will you find that other way. And Marie-Pierre, if anything, this podcast has allowed me to understand that I can only help those that are at the level of understanding that to move forward bigger and bigger than ever, they have to let go of the scarcity mentality. So many people delay their life waiting to feel ready. I will begin when I learn. I will start when I understand everything. But success never works that way, my friends. You do not wait to know. You begin, and knowledge gathers as you move forward. It will appear before you, and you must stay humble enough to ask for help. There's another sentence I would write down. Have the humility to ask for help. An educated person is not someone who has many degrees. An educated person is someone who knows how to acquire knowledge when it becomes necessary and then applies it. So that being said, let's go over to somebody who has a doctorate's degree. How do we actually obtain this knowledge? Melanie Miller, all the way from Australia, will deliver you the second part of the podcast.
Good morning, everybody, and thank you, Maria. The story of Henry Ford is always such a powerful reminder of what truly matters when it comes to success. As we move into chapter 5 on specialized knowledge, this chapter speaks to me very personally. When I was 18 years old, I went for an interview at what was then considered the most prestigious school of pharmacy in the UK, Nottingham University. Nottingham had a reputation. They selected students not purely on academic results, but through interview. They wanted more than grades. And I really wanted to study pharmacy. My favorite subject at school was chemistry, and I knew I wanted something vocational, something practical, something that would allow me to help people within the health system while using my passion for chemistry. So in my final year of high school, I applied to 5 different schools of pharmacy, listing them in order of preference. Nottingham was at the top. When I received an invitation to interview there, I was thrilled. I still remember that interview, and it was nearly 50 years ago, because it was one of the few times in my life when I was encouraged to speak not about my academic results, but about me, not my academic self, me. What did I do with my time? What mattered to myself? Where did I see myself in years to come? It gave me the opportunity to talk about my family, about my volunteering in guiding at church and at school, about leadership roles I had already taken on, achieving the Queen's Guide Reward, being house captain, and other smaller responsibilities. It allowed me to speak about my singing, my swimming, my gymnastics. The people interviewing me were listening carefully to one question. Who is Melanie? They wanted to know whether I would fit with their mission, their desire to produce the best pharmacists in the country. I was later offered a place with a relatively low academic requirement, almost a guarantee of entry when I met that threshold. And what that told me was this. They understood that producing excellent pharmacists required more than academic brilliance. They were looking for people who excelled in different areas, people with interests beyond textbooks, team players, communicators, people with purpose. And interestingly, there were no dropouts from my year in the 3 years we studied together. Sadly, not long after my intake, Nottingham was required to move to a purely academic selection process. I sometimes wonder whether they later saw a difference in the caliber, not academically, but in the fullness of the person, of the students they admitted. Because what Nottingham understood is exactly what Hill points out in this chapter. Knowledge alone does not guarantee success. That was true for Henry Ford. Ford did not possess every piece of technical knowledge required to build his empire. What he possessed was the ability to organize knowledge, to bring specialists together, and to ask the right questions. He understood that leadership is not about knowing everything, it's about knowing how to access what you need. Although that interview was 50 years ago, I realized that throughout my life, I have continued to develop myself beyond simply my job. When I worked in the pharmaceutical industry, I was also volunteering. I was also keeping fit. I was also continuing to learn. And since joining Tupperware, that has only deepened. What makes it even more meaningful at Tupperware is that my purpose has become clearer. Even when I served on a school parent-teacher committee, my purpose was always to contribute to the greater good, not just to benefit my own children. When I recognized that at Tupperware Les Diamants, I had an opportunity to impact many lives, that understanding fueled me year after year. And what has strengthened that journey is the ability to continue learning, to gain specialized knowledge in the field in which I'm working. But here is something important. Having specialized knowledge in your field is powerful, but you do not have to be the person who knows everything. You need to be the person who can organize knowledge, who can ask specialists, who is humble enough to acknowledge that others know more than you in certain areas. You need to be a team player. You need to be a good communicator. These are the skills that can be developed, no matter what profession you are in. Personally, I'm deeply grateful to Les Diamants for giving me the space to grow as a leader and for encouraging me to remain my own person while doing so. Because specialized knowledge is not just about information, it is about growth, it is about collaboration, it is about purpose. And when knowledge is combined with humility, teamwork, and clarity of mission, that is when real success begins. And now I'm going to hand you over to Marie-Pierre, who's going to help us to see what sort of person are we? So over to you, Marie-Pierre.
Thank you, Melanie. So yes, we're gonna close that with the quiz of the day. So because a lot of people that we probably know, everyone knows one person at least that collect information for years and years, book, podcast, training, video, and yet their life does not change. Why? Because knowledge alone does not create the result. It's only organized and directed knowledge that will create the result. So the quiz will help you discover whether you are trying to know everything or you are waiting to feel ready or already learning how to build success intelligently. So you want to answer honestly because this is not a test of intelligence, but this is a test of strategy. So you want to choose the answer that most resemble your natural reaction, not the one that you would like to have, but the one that is natural to you. So for this morning, every question you can answer A, B, C, or D. So let's start with question number one. So when you start something new, so it's a business or fitness program or investing, what do you usually do? A, research for weeks or months before acting. B, wait until you feel fully prepared. C, you ask someone experienced what to do first. Or D, you start small and learn as you go. Question number two. When you hear someone that is successful, what is your first thought? A, they are smarter than me. B, they had better education. C, they learned something I can learn. Or D, they ask the right people. Number 3, when you start a project, are you usually A, over prepare, B, you overthink, C, you seek advice, or D, you take action then adjust? Question number 4, when someone offers you to help, how do you feel? A, embarrassed, B, like you should already know, C, curious, or D, grateful and relieved? And question number 5, when you are in a group project, do you usually A, stay quiet, B, try to do everything yourself, C, collaborate, or D, coordinate people? So did you get mostly A's, mostly B's, mostly C's, or mostly D's? So if you have mostly A, you are in the intimidated mind. So you associate knowledge with intelligence and intelligence with worth. So you hesitate to begin because you fear of being exposed as not capable. So your challenge is not learning, your challenge is confidence to engage. So you must understand that successful people are not those who know everything, they are those who begin before knowing. Now, if you have it mostly B, you are in the over preparation trap. So you believe success requires complete understanding first. So you collect information, but you delay the action. So you are not feeling because you lack the knowledge. You are stuck because you are waiting for certainty, and knowledge grows through use, not before it. So your progress will begin the moment that you allow yourself to learn publicly. Now, if you have it mostly C, you are the developing learner. So you are beginning to understand that knowledge is acquired through interaction. You are willing to learn and improve. So the next step will be that you stop only learning, but start organizing your knowledge toward a clear objective, that purpose, the clear objective. So you are close to that major growth for you. And if you have mostly these, now you are the coordinator mindset. So you already think the way successful people think. You don't try to become the expert in everything. You seek competence, collaboration, and application. So your opportunity now is to be intentional. So again, you build your system and relationship deliberately with your purpose, with your goals. So you are no longer collecting knowledge, but you are directing it in a way that you want to achieve. So 3 point, 3 step to apply this principle today. Number 1, stop learning randomly. Learn intentionally with something that is related to your goal, to your purpose. Number 2, spend more time applying than consuming. So if you realize that you spend more time just consuming information, but you don't apply it, that is the next step. Spend more time, apply it. And number 3, build that personal knowledge network. Like in the Henry Ford story, do you have that network around you that if there's something that you don't know, and that would be useful to your goal, you can ask the right people around you. So you create that knowledge network. Because remember, education is not it's not how much you know, but education is your ability to use that knowledge intelligently. Because the person who knows one useful thing and apply it will outperform the person who knows 1,000 ideas but never act. So you don't need to know everything to succeed, but knowledge does not create your success, but applied knowledge will do it when you have that vision first, that purpose, and you can apply that knowledge in the way that you want to. So on that, I wish you a beautiful day, a beautiful weekend, and we'll see you next week. Bye everyone.